All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son Hamashiach, son called Yahweh Shai Yeshua, Yasha Yah Yahusha. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. Excuse me. I have been working on the slides, y'all. Y'all willing? Either next week or the week after. We about 15 slides in. I just wanted to talk about the first slide today because a lot of people think that this is just going to be something sweet. You think it's going to be sweet, and it's not. It's not going to be. This is developing into something that's going to be very heavy. You're not just going to be able to. I'm just going to answer these questions. And a lot of the questions are that way, but your cognitive dissonance is going to kick in on a lot of y'all, and you're going to try to figure out a way to try to put in the answer you want to. But I just want to talk about that first slide today that came to mind, and it's the first slide is definitions. The first slide will be you defining what the circumcision. What is that? What does that mean? The circumcision. What does that mean? The uncircumcision. Heathen. What is a heathen? What is a Gentile? What is a Jew? What is an Israelite? Nations. And that'll be the first slide. And I'm doing that because, and I'm going to be reminding you through the slides, refer back to your definition. And not only are you going to define those definitions, stranger, what is a proselyte? What is a convert? You'll be defining these definitions. I don't think we're going to need convert. Well, what is a proselyte? And not only will you define these words, but I'm going to need book, chapter, and verse. Like say you say a proselyte is an Israelite that's just coming in. I need book, chapter, and verse to for an example of an Israelite proselyte. Or if you say it's a Gentile proselyte, I'm going to need an example of that. If you say an Israelite is a heathen, I'm going to need an example of that book, chapter, and verse. And then, you may say, okay, well, it's a heathen it could be an Israelite or a Gentile. Well, I need book, chapter, and verse for both of those. I need an example for both of those after you define the word. And so I'm gonna lay that out so you can follow your methodology. You can follow what you've established here. A lot of us, we just going through this text, and we're losing we're changing the definitions of these words. We don't even. It ain't until you step away, until you see how crazy that sounds, for some of these definitions to actually just flip, like we're just flipping the word into something else. Is and you're not going to see it. And this, I expect this thing to scare a few of y'all. It's going to be scary going through this slideshow. And you taking your time and reading these things. I'll give you another example too that I seen. And I'm gonna put this in. I haven't even put this in there yet, but I'm just giving you a heads up with this about the Ethiopian eunuch, and they're saying, "Well, no, that's an Israelite," and it's like these people wrote in there and remembered this man's nationality. You're saying that a Jew wrote down that this man is an Ethiopian eunuch. He had to remember that this is an Ethiopian, and he's a eunuch, and he's in charge of these people. Like he's writing this down for history, for historic reasons, and you know more than him. And it comes from a pre-notion that you're reading the text and saying, well, only Israel. And that's, I may have to put that in the introduction, man. I might have to put like a introduction in here and how to use these slides. To let go of your pre-notions. Don't come in here with no pre-notions. But if you're reading the text with, well, only Israel can be saved, you come up with methodologies like, well, it's only a Gentile when it's talking about something good. You don't know how ridiculous that sounds? That sounds ridiculous. Well, you got to read the context. You read the context and see if it's saying something good about Gentiles, then it's an Israelite, really, because only Israelites can. Because you're reading it with that pre-notion, only Israelites can be saved. So you have to let go of your pre-notions in this thing, and then he's a eunuch and so forth. But it's another story about a eunuch. It's another story about a eunuch that we'll be bringing out also. And he was kind of brought in, you know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna have to address these things, you know what I'm saying? And here, like I said, you don't have to address them. You got to address them to yourself. You're going to read this slideshow, and you're going to have to address these things yourself. I'm going to ask the questions, but you ain't got to answer them. You're going to hear the question, and you're going to look there and say, wait a minute. And then, you know, like I said, a lot of you cognitive dissonance kicks in. And you're not going to want to deal with it. I can see it already, man. I said I was 15 in. I'm like, oh man, this gonna be rough. Even me answering it, me having to answer it, I'm gonna need I'm gonna need a couple of sheets of paper. Like, I'm not gonna be able to just say off, oh well, that's a Gentile. Right there is a Gentile. Right there is really a Gentile right there. It's gonna be stuff that's gonna really be problematic. I hadn't even got into the individuals being. I don't even know if I would do that now and get into like the, all the kind of Rahab type stories with individuals. I think I just want to deal with, or if I put it in there, it'll be a later portion of it, about these individuals. I really just want to deal mostly with the text and just, and stuff that's in the text and what the Lord is saying about a nation of people, not an because brothers, we are, man, it gotta be the individuals and no, it's gonna be a nations. It's gonna be talking about nations of people that we run away from. A lot of text that we run away from, and it's gonna be so much information. And I want y'all to look too, man. Just look at the info. Look how much information it is on the opposite end of 1 Corinthians 12:2, John 7:33, Romans 9:24, 26, 24, 25, 26. It's going to be issues like, when you read the Romans 11, I'm going to need, that's another slide. You read the Romans 11, I need you to identify the natural tree, the broken branches, and the unnatural tree. Need you to, and then before that, I'm gonna ask when book, chapter, and verse where the northern kingdom has returned from Assyria. And if you don't have a book, chapter, and verse for that, I'm gonna ask, for some kind of source or something that's telling you that the northern kingdom is in this particular area. And if you say the northern kingdom is in America, then how is that one of your options there? And then I want you to run through, and that's how I'm setting this up, because I already know the arguments. I'm setting this up to make you answer these questions before you go into this thing. I seen Captain say one time, Christ, the Northern Kingdom wasn't there during the time of Christ. They were still in us. They done got sent off. They was in the Syrian captivity, got sent off, went to America. Then he said that's why Christ sent Paul. That don't make sense. Unless you're gonna say what my brothers are saying is that Paul went out there to the Northern Kingdom and went out there to America, took a ship during the time of during the first century and went out to America. Which is not, I ain't saying it's impossible for him to do that. I'm just saying it's not in the text, sir. It's just not there. So I'm gonna have this slideshow for everyone to download. And you could do a video on it. Tag me in the video. Email me your breakdown. If you don't want me to review it, you just put in there, hey man, I don't want you to review it, but and when I say review it, I mean we go through it online and we see where you made some good points and we see where you ain't making no sense according to your methodology. See, that's what this whole thing is about, is just showing your methodology and showing how it's flawed. That's what I realize is the most effective way to wake somebody up to, hey man, this thing ain't making no sense. This ain't making no sense. You just said right here that this is this. Now how you coming over here saying it's not that right here? Well, it gotta be that because only Israel can be there. And that's why you have to let go of these pre-notions. All right. These pre-notions are they're hurting us. We have a lot of issues. We have a lot of things that's wrong. I'm gonna have to put some more energy into the second Esdras. A lot of y'all, you don't want to deal. I was going back and forth with a brother in the comments. You just don't want to deal with the fact that second Esdras was written after Paul. Hello. Second Esdras was not written by Esdras. Second Esdras is not in the Greek Septuagint. And that's going to be hard for y'all to swallow. And why don't we have this information? Why didn't our brothers and our elders give us this information? They probably didn't have it. Probably didn't have it. A lot of us think that the Apocrypha was taken out because of Jewish history that they didn't want us to know about. And that's not the case. It was taken out. Protestants took it out because of some of the doctrines of in my opinion, some of the doctrines of Catholicism. The praying to the dead is established by the Apocrypha. It's a few other things that I can't really get off the dome right now. But it's a few things that are established with the Apocrypha that are, I think the Protestants have considered heresy. So they took it out. And not just for that reason, but, and I asked brothers too, I was like, well, even if second Esdras is written in, 1st century, 2nd century AD, is it an issue? Why is it an issue? But if you sitting up here talking crazy about Paul's writings, you need to slap yourself establishing your eschatology on second Esdras. You need to slap yourself. And let me see. Oh man, let me just make sure. What is that? What is that verse, man? What is that darn water? Oh, it's my pocket over here. Oh, there it is over there. Hold on. Let me get my pocket. Hold on. Let me get the Tupac out. I want to say it was in second Esdras. If it is in second Esdras, that's going to be very problematic. And it is. What does that do? If second Esdras, and it has, not only does it have our whole eschatology is relying on it. It also is the eschatology of the Northern Kingdom. You don't, without second Esdras, you don't have them going to know America or implications of them going to America. And it'll be, it can make more sense, to be honest. And I seen brother Kazak mentioning some of this, and I'm just glad he's searching. When I seen him saying certain stuff about the chart and about Northern Kingdom ain't go over here and da 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 da. I'm just glad he's seeking. You know what I'm saying? And when people seeking like that, I'm not here to point nobody and say, hey, go here, da 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 da, woo. But examine second Esdras. Examine when was it written. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you, brothers know this. A lot of these brothers know this. They know it. They just ain't gonna say it. But I'll lay it all out there, man. I'll lay it on the table. And it's things that I've taught, man. It's things, when I was first doing this Reformation, and that's another thing. The Reformation has begun, man. The Reformation has begun. The Israelite Reformation has begun. We finna get back out here on these streets, man. I got a good locale in mind. I gotta print out some new signs. I have 2 good ones in mind. So sometime next month, maybe in the middle of next month, we'll start back doing camp videos. Well, maybe, I ain't one that gotta record. And if I'm out there by myself, I don't want to have my camera out there, man. I don't want to be chasing no crackhead down the darn road I ain't gonna catch no crackhead anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be, tempting my flesh to be trying to hurt somebody about a $700 camera. These cameras are expensive though, man. They don't go down. Darn camera still like $500, $600, $700, man. Like, man, that camera like 4-5 years old. Why that camera steal that much, man? But anyway, it's gonna be a reformation, man. I'm trying to. It's what's on my spirit. A reformation of what camp looked like. And a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people so stuck on script and what they've seen, all they can do is mimic. But I'm not that kind of individual. We go out there, we take what we learn, and then we reform it. We revise it. We sharpen it. And that's what's on my spirit now is a reformation of the camp and see what it look like. And then, we make the tuning and fine tuning. And for those who can't do that and those who are in agreement, they can mimic that. And we can move forward, man, and try to put a better light, be a better light than and have a better reputation than the one that we have today, where the people don't run from us. I seen today shout out the priesthood car where the woman spit on him. Well, she tried to spit on him. She ended up spitting on his bag, and she already knew She already done came into she done ran into some Israelites before, and she wanted to spit on them. Probably the first group she met, and then she ended up running into Priest of Cottonelle, Genesis, and she ended up trying to spit on them. And you can get upset, but think about that, man. That's what the people are doing to us. They're despising the word. We're not bringing these people in. Where the text is saying, well, these folks is going to cleave to he that is a Jew, and want to go up to the mountain because they know that they have the word of the Lord and they can be taught correctly the word of the Lord. No, they're running from us. They're running from us. They're despising us. They're not trying to cleave. And it's more so, when we say that and we see this in videos and we're saying, hey, man, you know what? The Gentile trying to cleave. A lot of times they're just, nah, man, you know what? We can all do this and da. And, trying to have friendly dialogue and so forth. And yeah, I guess you could say it's a form of cleaving. But we still shun them away. And we have to be careful with that, man. You need to be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's some of the things that haunt me, is all the times I've done that. All the times that I've shunned these people away. Just, I'm sure I can't even imagine what it did to Paul. Understanding that he was literally killing these folks. He was out here getting a persecution, getting a letter, from the priest to go out here and kill these believers in Christ. And we're not killing them, but we're shunning them away and telling them, well, no, Christ didn't die for you. And that could be, if not just as bad, 1 or 2 stages from that. But I just wanted to give y'all an update, and just ran a little bit, give y'all an update on, the slides. I know I've been saying I was going to do it, and we pretty close, y'all. We pretty close. I don't know, maybe 20, 25 slides should be enough for the first little dosage. But they are preferable questions. You may have to read a chapter, and then tell me, well, what this verse mean here, who is this here, who is that in verse 15, who is that in verse 28. It's gonna be situations like that, so y'all just stay tuned. Like I said, we ain't trying to embarrass nobody or trying to make this thing something, some kind of competition or something like that. Oh, I know this. It's just trying to help us see, man. It's just trying to help us see the text correctly. And even if I'm wrong, man, we can get down to the bottom of it, because I can read. I want to read what y'all answers are. If you don't want me blazing it, just put on there, hey, man, don't put my stuff up there, but this is the answers that I got. And I can't put everybody's stuff up there. I can't do videos on every single one, but I'm sure. But this is something that I do want throughout all Israel, throughout all the camps. All the camp leaders I know, I'm definitely going to message them this slideshow. And if they want to put it online, they can put it online. If they just want to, I'd rather them put it online and do it. And then I can just grab from what they have online. But if they want to keep it private, I know how some brothers are. They can just keep it private, and I can maybe even respond to them if they really want me to respond to them. I can respond to them privately. But again, I can't do that for every single person. All right, but again, pray this thing was edifying, man. Y'all be blessed. You hit the comments if you have any questions, or you have any rebuttals. You know what I'm saying? Hit the comments, man. We deal with the rebuttals. Y'all know, like this ain't my main page. This ain't my page. This was another brother's page that had the access, that was doing all the camera work and so forth. I just have access to it because the brother's really not I ain't gonna say he's not in the walk, but the brother's just he's not involved with Prince of Power. Let me say that. And so I have access and I have control of the page, but I don't get the notifications. Like they're not pinging on my phone. This is his. It's under his name, under his email. So don't think I don't even. Brothers be saying all the time, man, you deleting my comment, you little rat sucker. I just seeing your true colors. I'm like, bro, I have no idea what you talking about. I don't delete no comments. And I usually give a like and a heart for every comment, whether I agree with it or not. All right, whether I agree or not, just to show you that I read it. All right. So again, praise the Lord. That's fine. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.